Hello guys, this is Athonan here, this is the Daily Grind, and this is again DC Legends. Now, um, today they made the raid bosses available. This is the new game mode for the updated April version of DC Legends. We still don't have news on the new characters that will be featured in April, and I'm kind of let down. I was just about to get excited about this new game mode. Not because I haven't played something like this, but because this is something that this game sorely needed. And immediately after playing a couple of times, I'm being let down again by the developers. Why? Well, for starters, I think it's very neat. I think it is somewhat original that they made the raid bosses trigger by playing normally. This is a big, big plus in my book because the new game modes shouldn't be intrusive on what you do. And that's something that Siege does and that the normal dailies and legendary dailies do. They force you to play a certain way that is not efficient and is not fun for anybody. I mean, nobody really wants to do the alliance missions. They feel like a chore and they have no real gameplay. And this raid boss again becomes a chore. So yeah, I think it's neat that you are playing normally. For example, you can choose to fight immediately or fight once you have finished. I have triggered the raid bosses twice from doing the special event for rings. Today is Tuesday, but the server hasn't rolled over, so technically it's still Monday. Now, what's my beef with the raid? Well, you can access it from this Justice League counter here on the main screen on the left side. I'm just gonna do my void scanner. I literally reinstalled the game because I haven't been playing for almost a week. I didn't even bring Mr. Freeze to Legendary 3 or anything. I'm gonna miss a lot of stuff, and I think I'm not even gonna get the 2000 gold from the end of the month. I'm going to show you real quick. Yeah, and that's the trouble with this game. Um, it's one of the reasons I literally stopped playing because I couldn't take it anymore. I just can't stand the user interface and the myriad of stupid things that almost 3 years in, because remember this game launched in November and we are going to go into April in a couple of days. So it's almost 2 years and a half now. In a matter of a couple of months, it's going to be a 3-year-old game. So I think it has no business presenting problems like this. My fucking cat just clothed me. Sorry for that. So yeah, I'm gonna show you my March. In fact, I think I should have already cashed the 2000. So it's only 5 more days. Yeah, well, if I keep logging in after the reset, then I might be able to get that. But I'm really not looking forward to it. I'm sorry if I'm being a bit of a pessimist. I haven't even touched the Clayface event. I see really no reason. So you can access it two ways. Um, there is your raid boss list. Here it is. The lower one is my personal raid boss. This is very neat. And the top one, which I'm going to engage right now, is for my alliance. You get featured characters that get multipliers to their stats so as to make them better. So this is also kind of neat. I would have preferred to have a slot for a 5x and 3x and 2 times the stats, and that you could choose who gets what. Of course, everybody was going to bring Wonder Girl around, and they are about to kill this thing. So I'm gonna go help my alliance. Well, what is the problem with the raid bosses? If they were a set amount of time, for example, in the other game that I have shown you from the Knights of the Zodiac, you get 1 hour for your alliance boss to defeat it. And every time you defeat that boss, somebody else killed it. Oh, wow. Why am I not surprised? Well, anyways, in the other game that I showed you, if it is a raid boss, you get a limited amount of time to defeat it. So yeah, this is a new one. Okay, stat multipliers. Oh, so I don't have any energy to tackle this boss. And I'm pretty sure my alliance mates are crazy buying energy. So for cops, I want to do mine. And you can raise to do damage to the boss, and depending on the amount of damage you do to the boss is the amount of rewards you get. If you get 100%, then you get full rewards. If your alliance mates for some reason don't come to play and you alone manage to take 20% off the boss, see, these bosses are a joke. So now I'm gonna get level 5. Possibly. Yeah. This wasn't live the last time I played this. So yeah, I got them. And the fun is over. I have to trigger another boss to get a level 5. And this is what I have defeated already. Oh, yeah, where to begin? Where to begin? This is just too fast. For people, and it's a rat race. This thing is going to be about who gets the deepest pockets, who has more gold to spend refilling energy. Because if I want to go play the alliance boss again, finishes in 1 day, 9 hours. I don't have any alliance energy available right now to do this, so yeah, I'm just gonna spend to show you. At least it's a decent price. 15 energy for 500 golds. So I can play 5 times at maximum multipliers. And let's hope it doesn't crapple out again. But it's intrusive. It's not something. In the Knights of the Zodiac game, we just got a event that allows us to tackle a server-wide boss that is very difficult and that requires you to have, if you want to maximize your amount of points, it needs you to have at least 18 maxed out characters so you are able to actually do damage to the boss, because you only get 5 tries per day, and you cannot reuse the characters that you have just used. So I get 400 something MVP points. And probably my alliance mate also ran out of energy. So yeah, this is just too fast. And as you can see, if you bring my Dark Knight in my Defender of Justice are not maxed out. Defender of Justice is gear 10 and the Dark Knight is just measly gear 8 or something, but they are still doing a lot of damage because of the multipliers. And of course Superman is legendary 4, gear 11. So I can throw a team that has no synergies whatsoever. No synergies at all. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing this. In fact, let me change Cancer Girl out for somebody else, and now it has to reload everything because of course you cannot have an installer. Come on. That would be too convenient for players to have an installer that installs the whole fucking game in one go, so you don't have to be using your data plan over and over and running it to the ground. And it's stuff like this that made me uninstall a couple of days ago, and I was really not going to play anymore because this is just too stupid. I mean, what's happening? What's the purple stuff? Nobody knows. You have a counter for 1 minute limit to do as much damage as you're able to, but it doesn't matter because everybody does way too much damage, and you're kind of better off just playing this on novel, I believe. And I think I didn't kill it. Just because I was fucking around. Oh! So, yeah. Well, somebody else killed it, I believe. So I have my rewards. Huh. So I did all of the damage and I wasn't the MVP. Oh, now I know what the meteors are. That's the other player hitting hitting the character. So yeah. Yeah. Well, you wanna know? Well, stupid me. I didn't take the multipliers. Whatever. So yeah, as you can see, this is way fun. I mean, yeah, raid bosses. Woohoo! And I'm not being negative, just to go against the flow. I mean, again, this is just a cash grab, like they have been doing for several months now, literally a couple of years of just using the player base as the personal wallet. And if this was working out for them, I could maybe understand it. Like if they were making a crap ton of money out of this, I could understand that. I would say, well, if it's working for them, if they are making a ton of money this way, well, I'm not cool with it, but at least I can understand where they are coming from. Yeah, bringing Defender of Justice is not the greatest idea. Yeah. I think my teammates already ran out of energy. So, yeah, as you can see, this is deep gameplay that you cannot get anywhere else. Super engaging, completely original. It's not something that Asian games have been doing for 5 or so years now. And I'm not being sarcastic. Not. I mean, you can see it, right? You can see the amount of strategy that it required to defeat this boss. And I haven't checked. I haven't checked. But I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna try to buy more energy. And yes, you can buy more energy. So, well, I don't really know. I mean, in my guild boss over at Knights of the Zodiac, this week we reached a level 16 boss for the first time. Now it really needs 4 people just to defeat that one. And I have a small guild because it's just Mexican based players. And I have been kicking everybody who hasn't played in over 3 weeks. And we are down to 7 people. And I understand that they don't have the time to play every day. I completely get that. Um, but when we time it properly, and and this is the thing, there is a chat inside that other game that works with a microphone. You can send voice messages, so you don't need a third-party program to communicate with your guild. And I can send them notices through the in-game messaging system. So they get a notification. If they are not playing, I can send them a message and, hey, dude, we're gonna do the boss in 20 minutes or in 30 minutes. Everybody get ready. And they usually comply to any call of that kind, because doing the bosses alone is a very crappy experience. But when you do the bosses in that game with your guildies, it becomes way more fun. It's the same shallow gameplay that you have witnessed right here, but just the fact that their avatars appear beside you, you get your whole team, and then if 5 other guys logged in to do the boss, there is a special room for the guild where their avatars appear, and you can send the modes and you can chat through the voice chat, and you get to call the shots. As I am the leader, I get to cast special power-ups for the guildies that are going to defeat the boss. And so we go in, and after we finish, during the fight, their avatars also appear next to my characters. And when they perform their attacks, instead of just getting purple meteors raining on the boss, you get to see their avatars perform a special movement, or they assist, not when they attack, but after they attack on their own stance of the boss, they show up as an assist in your stance of the boss. So after you attack with one of your characters, the game times it so their own attack is reflected as an assist during your own run, and you can be chatting all the time during that. So it's not so much the depth of gameplay as the experience of having your guildmates next to you, which is something missing here. Now, over there you only get 3 tries per person to do the raid boss, and you only get 1 hour to do the maximum amount of damage that you're able to. And the rewards are proportional to the damage that you do. So there's that. And really, we have shot up from Alliance 200 something when I started to number 94. So we are at top 100 Alliance, and there's only 4 people playing. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish doing this. So I was expecting something like that, like the boss takes real effort, and that's the other thing. In the other game, the boss scales to the Alliance. Everybody starts with the same crappy boss, level 1, that you can one-shot pretty much with any character in the game. But the sooner you defeat it, the sooner you unlock the next level. And after several bosses, because you get several bosses in the day when it's very low level. you start needing a bigger and bigger alliance. And for example, mine that is basically 6 people now. We have already reached a point where we can't defeat one boss every day, so we just go for half the health or 75%, and then the next day we finish it off and it levels up again. Of course, higher level bosses. Oh fuck, I did it again. I messed up. Um, eh, Mostly because this is very inefficient. So yeah, that's the other thing that really got me down. It's no use to play this thing if you don't go for the full 5 times multiplier. I mean, look, I'm doing damage, but it's not nearly enough because my characters, well, are not maxed out. Maybe if they were maxed out, they would be a bit better. Even so, Superman has a inbuilt 5 times multiplier. So if I buy the 5 times multiplier through energy, using free energy at a time, he gets a 25 time increase in stats. So that's pretty fucking crazy. But it's really, in the end, what this game mode is, it's a rat race. They want you to spend because you want to be the very best, the best that there ever was. And there's nothing else to it. I mean, it could have been interesting, like the current event in my other game, where the whole server has to attack the boss, and the boss has a different pattern from the normal, because it's just a normal character that you can actually have made bigger, and not just figuratively but literally. The graphic has a bigger size to mark him as a boss, and they get special powers, like for example they get a double turn even if the original character doesn't have it, or they get a counter strike even if the original character doesn't have it. So that at least make the boss fight not a straightforward affair like here. Like it's a green boss, bring a blue character. He has a lot of HP, doesn't matter, you're gonna get a multiplier in damage. Looks cool for bigger numbers. Oh, look. We jumped out from Alliance 94 to Alliance 77, so I'm dropping in raid boss, well, in my own Kage Ufuru just shared a level 90 Steppenwolf. Yeah, Kage, I don't mean any disrespect, but you surely didn't get to a level 90 raid boss with just the 6 energy points that they give you for free. I'm pretty certain you didn't. So again, let's see the top players. Kage is down. He was top spot a couple of minutes ago. The guys who... Oh, Timur the King is back. Yeah, if you don't see famous names up here, it's because they are at work or something and they haven't been able to play. So yeah, it's again, it's a fucking race to see who has the highest credit card limit and who is willing to sink down a couple $1,000 for pixels. No strategy. No strategy at all. I mean, I've pretty much on my own, with just one energy package, made my alliance somewhat of a contender. And if we were bigger, I think that we would be up here. Oh, yeah. So that's how we're gonna get rebirth shards. You're gonna have to spend like 3,000 gold. Just that's 10,000. I seriously swear these guys are fucking nuts. These guys are amazing. Like, the second to last prize is 10,000 purple essence. You can get that with 400 gold every week. Well, every day that you're actually able to do that stuff. So tomorrow night, if you want 10,000, well, it's actually more than 10,000. If you want more than 10,000 energy, purple essence, you can get that uh, with just 400. With just 400 gold. And I'm too tired to do this. I really wanted to enjoy this game. I really wanted this game to succeed, to get better, to be successful, but apparently the devs are against that, or marketing just doesn't give a damn and they're just focusing on the bottom line. But just to give you a heads up, a reality check in a comparison. You see that Knights of the Zodiac game that most of you gringos have never heard about that franchise, even though it's almost 30 years old? Oh, no, I think it's actually now 30 years old because it came out in 1986 or something. Well, at least the anime came out that year. That little game that has been in beta for 7 months and has been out in the market for 5 months. In their first month, just from China alone, it made 150 fucking $1 million on sales. Do you know what the entry price point for that game is? $1. And that dollar buys you 30 energy, because they give you 30 gems, and with 30 gems you can buy, the first time you can buy 60 energy. So I was wrong, 60 energy. The second time it's gonna give you again 60 energy, but it's gonna cost you 60 gems. The third time it's still gonna give you 60 energy, but it's going to cost 90 gems, and so on and so forth. And you can only buy energy, experience, and money 15 times per day each. So it has a spending limit. You only get 5 PvP tries per day for free. The first time you buy an extra PvP energy point, it costs you 10 gems. The second time it costs 20. The third time it costs 40, and so on until you get to 10 max PvP energy points that you can buy per day. But now, the live PvP part, where the real prizes are awarded, it's unlimited, but you only get to play for 2 hours every day, live PvP. So the normal grinding and the real PvP, or the normal PvP like we have here in the Wraith Arena, they are only to get your dailies done. They only exist to give you free gems so that you can pay for extra energy to grind more, to get your whole team of level 80 characters with maxed out gear so you can do live PvP. So that you can tackle the special dungeons that only spawn after you have finished the normal dungeons. So you get more specialized gear. Yes, do we agree? Now, the real difference is that the events in that other game are not intrusive. I don't have to choose, well, what do I do? Do I do the Clayface challenge? Or do I grind for money in the campaign? I don't have to choose. I just grind normally, and I play my storyline in that other game, and I get my prizes for the storyline, and they give you a ton of shards away because you have to sacrifice the characters to improve other characters. They don't want you to spend in the stupid stuff. They don't want you to spend on grinding. They want you to spend on buying the shards or the attempts because it's a gacha game. They want you to buy the attempts, even though you can get 100 summons for free per month. And in 2 more days, a new character is going to arrive because they have been advertising that for over 2 weeks. And when it was a week away, you get a special splash in the game where it tells you such character is going to be available for summoning at the special rates. Even though they say it's double the rate, it's actually like 2% chance of getting that character. But anyways, they tell you in 7 days this new character is going to be available for summoning at a special double rate. And then after the next reset in 6 days, get ready because this new character is coming, and it's going to have such a skill. So start saving up your summonings, and then at the fourth and the next rest of the days, they start giving you like, here, you log in, take 2 free summons to help you get this character that is going to come out, because they make their money when you have to grind for the gear for a new character. But they want you to get a new character, like, oh, they gave me 2 for free. I will buy 50 more tries from my pocket money, because 50 tries is $5. It's very, very cheap. And they recently started doing something that is like Siege here, where it's a month-long event that you have to pay to access the very good rewards. I have made I have done the math, and they give you like a month of full grinding in addition of what you actually do during a month, and you only have to pay $10. Like, you get a reasonable reward when you perform the actions. It's like, oh, do PvP 40 times this week, and defeat 5 raid bosses, and upgrade gear 20 times. It's per week, but once you finish the stuff, they immediately reset the counters so you can start again. And as such, every day, if you do your grinding normally, you get one of the rewards. But here's the catch: you get rewards for free, like 20 gems and 1 special gear and 20,000 experience for the gear when you need millions to upgrade a piece of gear. But if you pay $10, we're gonna give you the special rewards below. And it doesn't matter when you buy it. You can buy it at the start of the event, or if you wait until you have finished the event, when you have already gathered several of the rewards at once, you can pay then and get everything retroactively. Like, okay, I'm gonna play normally. Suddenly, if I cannot play, or I don't want to play a couple of days in the month, then I get to choose. Well, do I pay the $10 and get what I have already gotten at the end, or do I pay from the beginning, even though I'm not going to be able to play, but maybe I can make up through buying more energy, so I can unlock everything in just one day. But it's very, very cheap, and that game is making millions of dollars a month, because it doesn't fucking nickel and dime you for pixels. And it's a very cutthroat game, and several players over there in China are spending hundreds of dollars every month, because they want to get the full roster maxed out. That's the showcase over there. And it's more or less the same amount of characters that we have here. It's almost 100. But that game has been out for 5 months. This game has been out for 3 years almost. And I hate to do that comparison, but it's like, what's going to keep me here? I mean, there's a new game mode, but the new game mode, it's all about spending gold, because it's not interesting in gameplay. The strategy is very shallow. You're, again, pretty much, it depends on whether or not you have the featured characters unlocked and geared. So Either you have them or you don't have them. And it's your choice. Do you gear them up or you don't gear them up? Up to you. But I have shown you half an hour of the new gameplay, so-called new gameplay, and there's nothing to it. Um, I think I think these special events where the limited hero selection are way more interesting than the raid bosses, honestly. And yeah, perhaps if you defeat, so just let me check how long it takes to get a raid boss, because it doesn't look like you need much. Yeah. Okay, fine now. That's a plus. It doesn't need much. But it's just adding HP and damage to the boss. So there's no real need to ask for help with the boss. Uh, there's no urgency. There is no real strategy. It's a rat race. You get 1 minute, but look, it's a fucking joke. So at least I get 5 energy, 5 normal energy from being the guy who discovered it and attacked it first. Wow, 40 the Dark Knight shards. I'm stoked. Just to show you how much I cared for Ra's al Ghul. Not even going to unlock it. Alliance missions. PvP battles. Who cares? Who cares anymore? And yeah, really, we sound like negative Nancy's. I know Jalapeno, Fanatic Jalapeno, uh, jumped ship a long time ago, along with Guitar Wizard and some of the other guys. Most of the We Are Legends just stopped playing quietly and went to other places. Here's the thing, it's not being negative just for the sake of being negative. It's just putting in evidence that these developers don't care. And I don't believe they are greedy, like they're they're twirling their mustaches and saying like these dumb players, oh, they're gonna give us all their money. Because I really believe it's management and marketing that are shooting themselves in the foot. Like, for well over a year now, the impression that I get is that this game it's a huge tax write-off for Warner Brothers, and especially for Warner Brothers games, because they have never been a big development house. I mean, their best franchise, their best franchises are the Arkham series on console and PC, and the revival of Mortal Kombat when they bought NetherRealm Studios to do stuff for them. And that was mainly Ed Boon fighting to get stuff done again, because Mortal Kombat is his brainchild, and he's been on record saying that Mortal Kombat got him a Ferrari. So yeah, I mean, even though Mortal Kombat went down in popularity during the 90s and the early 2000s, it got like 6 games for PlayStation 2. Like they released Mortal Kombat 4 in arcades, and then they uh, ported that to consoles, even PlayStation 1, and then Nintendo 64 got a Mortal Kombat 4 version. Um, they released Mortal Kombat 5, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, or something like that. It was an action adventure game with fighting modes that covered the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 storylines. Mortal Kombat 6, Deception, then they stopped numbering them. And it was like Annihilation, Armageddon, and bullshit like that. And then for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and PC, they made Mortal Kombat 9, that was a full reboot of the franchise, and they are up to Mortal Kombat 11 that it's about to launch if it hasn't already launched for consoles and PC. I love fighting games, but I just don't have the time to commit to them to be competitive in fighting games for consoles or PC. But that's a work of love, and I felt that in DC Legends when it launched, it felt like a game by fans for fans that was just shallow because it was the first game ever from this particular dev team. But it just doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels like it's a huge write-off, a tax write-off. Like they are losing money on purpose just to justify some tax breaks. Like it's gonna go the distance until literally nobody is playing, and maybe even then they will keep this thing alive because it's not really eating resources. I mean, just look at this. The user interface hasn't changed in forever. Oh, they changed the raid boss from here to here. Wow. Wow, wow. Wow. Oh, seriously, I can't imagine just how many days they spent thinking of that. Meanwhile, the interface is still a cluttered mess. You can search for some tunes, but you cannot order in ascending order. You cannot filter through hero or villain because there is a space even in my crappy Huawei phone that has a custom screen ratio that is not it's kind of letterbox instead of widescreen. It's very, very narrow, not very tall, even though it is full 1080p, so it's full HD, um, but it doesn't fill the screen properly, so I don't get the full screen. There's still space in this reduced thing because they could have something up here that let you filter by hero, villain, ascending and descending order. Just those 4 buttons, and maybe rank by gear, up and down, and maybe rank by levels, ascending and descending. Or just instead of all that, hero, villain, ascending, descending order, and rank. ascending and descending. That you could combine that. That will make navigation just so much better. 3 years in, this game doesn't have it. Every other game in the market has something to filter. When you have this many characters, they have something to help you filter and order your characters however you see fit. This game doesn't. Um, you can search by name, but the interface is very clunky, and you can list by affinity. But still, if you want to find one of your lowest gears, or after you have unlocked one of the characters, he's not going to show up over here. He's going to be at the end of the screen. So you have to do this, and this game just loves to download shit all over again. Now I have to wait to see who is who, because nobody has their fucking name on the screen. Right. So even if we had just an ascending or descending order, this will be made way easier. And I believe they still haven't fixed the downloading now stuff. It hasn't started yet. But I'm pretty sure they haven't fixed that. I'm gonna test that in a couple of hours. Um, but yeah, this game is 1.6 gigabytes big now, or it was before this new raid boss mode. It was 1.6 gigabyte big. If you go check in my channel the videos for the Night of the Zodiac game, that game is 1.5 gigabytes. Still, it's probably gonna get bigger in the coming months, but it has at least half of that space is just the voiceovers for the story mode, because it has voices for the characters, and it's the voice actors from the latest release of the movies and the games, because it has other games. There have been many games in the past 6 years for Knights of the Zodiac. There were two on PlayStation 3, and one of them was also made available. It's called Souls of Gold. It was made available for PlayStation 4 too. Full 1080p and 60 frames per second. It's a fighting game. And then there is the other Android game for Knights of the Zodiac, Cosmos Fantasy. I don't recall how it's called in Japan. The Japan version has a different name, but it's the same thing. I think it's Brave Spirits. Anyways, but it also has a ton of music. It has a ton of voiceovers, because it's at least 2 powers per character that they have to shout, because that's a given with anime, with fighting anime. It's a shonen anime. So I cannot see how DC Legends is almost 2 gigabytes big when it has like 3 music tracks, and one of them is the fanfare when you win a match. It has grunts, it has no dialogues, it has no cinematic pieces for the storyline. They just bring the model of the character, put some text globes around, and have a canned animation. So you cannot really say that they are throwing a party graphics wise for the storyline. And there is just no real variety in the background scenery, it's the exact same when it was just 800 megabytes. Back at launch, it was 800 megabytes, and it has been climbing up. So I seriously doubt that every character in this game is like 50 megabytes big. I mean, uh, you can play this game on a gigabyte of RAM cell phones. So yeah, cell phones from mid-range or even some entry models, because I started playing on a Huawei Y something that was just 512 megabytes of RAM. But I had to do some voodoo magic to make it work. And I switched then to a Motorola G3 that consistently says, to this day, it says that the game experience will be reduced or diminished if you play on that device because it's not supported. But outside of loading times, you can play pretty decently on a G3, on a Motorola G3. And then I switched to an Alcatel 1060 or something like that. It's a very shitty phone that now goes for like $50. And I stopped using that because the game was using most of the of the built-in storage, because that thing is just like has just like 4 gigabytes of ROM memory to install things. Supposedly it's 8, but 4 of those gigabytes are used by the system, and the backup stuff to flash your phone again. So you only get like 4 gigabytes effective. And DC Legends was eating all of that up. I don't know how, but it was doing that. So now I switch to a P20 Lite, and it's a very jealous game because I have installed Life After, I have installed DC Unchained, and a couple of other games. Oh well, there's the Knights of the Zodiac game, so that's like 6 gigabytes just on video games that are not DC Legends. And I decided to erase DC Legends because it doesn't play nice. It forces you to have 100 megabytes free in your storage. And between having DC Legends or the Knights of the Zodiac, I'm always going to go with Knights of the Zodiac because that's my childhood right there, for starters. And then those other games are not constantly downloading shit into my phone and report to me that they are 300 megabytes big when in reality they're almost 2 gigabytes big. That's like too big a difference to ignore. And there is not a single compelling thing in this game left for me, honestly. Like, outside of making content, which I cannot yet monetize because YouTube changed the rules about monetizing. I was making a bit of money because it never was that much through YouTube. Because I don't make content pandering to what the masses are consuming. Else, I will be doing Fortnite and PUBG and maybe Grand Theft Auto because people still like Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why. and I don't make bait videos of 5 things that you didn't know about DC Legends. The third one will shock you. I don't do that shit. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'm gonna cash my last 2000 gold later after reset, but this raid boss thing, um, it's just a very big letdown for me. There's no communication with your alliance. Like, there should be a button here for, hey guys, I'm fighting one of the bosses. Come help. Something like that. I think this one does way more damage than the basic. Yeah, way more damage than the basic. And little Bruce here is just along for the ride just because. But it's stupid that Cancer Girl can do almost the same damage without upgrades as a 5-time increase Superman. There you go. Another boss, another MVP, extra points. Wow, I cannot believe my eyes. Such deep gameplay. There you have it, without frills. Just like this. This is the new game mode. This is the new game mode. And I can tell some guys are buying energy like crazy. Like, I can't believe. Just let me check if they gave me. Oh yeah. Yeah, pretty much they give you the extra shards immediately. So he is now full gear 8. But what is there to it? I mean, why would I bother, for example, why would I bother gearing up the Dark Knight, because they don't give me extra points? I could just use Superman and then switch over to somebody else who does more damage, that is blue, like for example Swampy, Cancer Girl, the other Cancer Girl, or John Constantine. I didn't because I'm checking stuff. I mean, well, I know who I am rebirthing next. But here's the thing. I mean, I just don't know what to say to you guys. Like, 5,000, 15,000 Like, it's okay, this is not for free. You only get one day. Oh, 17,000. Um, well, if you finish the whole thing, 17,000 purple essence, several energy for your solo raid boss, some blue rings, some speed force, 5 life and 5 death rings. But this is just a fucking joke. Come on, guys. 5 rare material 3 for all these points? Why would I bother? Oh wow, super generous. Some XP agent, 50,000. And everything just to get 5 rebirth shards. See, this is what I was, just to close this video before it becomes 2 hours long of me ranting. This is what I was talking about in the past. I mean, I would agree if rebirth tokens were so rare, if rebirthing was easy and fast, like if you could get all the shards real fast, it would make sense that rebirth shards, rebirth tokens were scarce, because you will have to choose who to rebirth. Now, the other way around is, if you make rebirth tokens easily accessible, then shards should be difficult. But either way, they are a money sink for a problem that doesn't exist. Nobody in this game has excess essence, and nobody in this game has excess shards except for perhaps Cyborg, Batman World Greatest Detective, Robin Damian Wayne, and Batman the Dark Knight, the Batfleck, because that was the first PvP board clear reward, and several people have thousands of the shards, literally thousands of the shards. And that was when Batfleck was a really shitty character. And maybe Chemo. Maybe Chemo. Or if you went ham getting shard veins. But very few people are gonna have an extra shards enough to be rebirthing characters anytime soon. And the increase in stats is not that big to make rebirthing attractive. I mean, it's attractive if you could go to rebirth 5 in one go, but if you're just going to get a rebirth 1, it's useless. It's pointless to do a single rebirth. So, hiding these 5 rebirth tokens up here makes no sense. These shards should be 100 shards, not 40. Unless you are able, and I just don't have the will to do this. Unless you can repeat this every day for a set amount of time, and maybe you can get 1,000, because that's what you need. You need 1,000 Superman shards to rebirth to Rebirth 2. And in my case, that would be 730 shards just to get Rebirth 1. So it's not something that you can do overnight, but it's at the same time fucking pointless if they're going to give you just 17,000 purple essence. You will need this to be available at least 10 days in a row just to bring a character from rank 1 to legendary 5 in one go. 10 days. 10 days that you're going to be doing nothing but spending gold, refreshing your heroic nodes to get your raid boss, and doing that over and over and over throughout the day to be top guy. I mean, it's just not attractive enough. I get that you guys are excited and happy because this is new. Literally just came out today. That's why I'm doing the video. I'm really just feeling like uninstalling this crap again and just forget about it. But maybe you are at work and you need a video to showcase this. I would have liked to be more positive, to be hyped about it. But it's same old. It's just there. It's a game mode that it's there to squeeze money out of you. Literally, just there to squeeze the money out of you. There is nothing compelling. Okay, I'm gonna rebirth my Bane right now. And I'm gonna buy some energy too. Just because I can. Oi. So, yeah, I want to rebirth my character. And I'm not gonna switch the skin. And the next rebirth is, wow, 610 shards. So that's gonna be like 4 or 5 months of heavy grinding his nodes, plus getting every PvP pack out there. Oh wow, scarecrow fragments. $150 and $80, and I would be too short of legendary 4, so no thank you. I was just about to buy you, but no, fuck off. 2k gold for 40 hero fragments of Mad Jester. This is now I hate that expression. It's like a slap in the face. This is like a slap in the face. Like, it's a big fuck you, player. You're gonna do what we want. This is just bullshit. All of this. So yeah, sorry, I cannot be positive about these guys. I just can't. It's a fucking disgrace. Kage is gonna market this the hell out of this. Like, it's gonna go super hype in the forums. I'm pretty sure. But believe me, it's gonna die down the day after tomorrow, when everybody has had their fix. Once we have the real cost of getting to the last tier of rewards for the raid bosses, that's when this thing is gonna go down. This is for whales only, but it's a kick in the dick because pretty much the only ones that can actually engage in this. You know what? I'm gonna take this out. No, not you. You. Because the only ones that are going to be able to do well in the leaderboard are whales. But there's no incentive to whale out anymore. Like, what are you going to get that you cannot buy directly? Like, seriously. I think somebody else is attacking him. Like, what's this? What is there to keep me engaged? And aren't they a little cheeky? The counter still goes down even if my characters are just standing there doing absolutely nothing. Maybe I should have brought Aqua Bro here. Yeah, what's with the delay? Fuck off. Man. Yeah. They really benefit from the stat multiplier. I don't know, guys. There is nothing more to it. Red alerts is way more interesting. By the way, we should have checked if they changed the rewards. Chemo, Emerald Archer, Derp Shot. So no, apparently the rewards haven't changed. And what I hate is that everything I hit that hasn't loaded, it's gonna download shit again. Okay, so let's check the Alliance pack. Yeah, apparently this is still the same. And yeah, this is still the same. Same as last change. Or maybe this guy wasn't here. Arkish Shmuk. Yeah, whatever, dudes. I cannot show you anything else because there is nothing more to it. I haven't even done the hero challenge. I have a legendary 4 Clayface. But I will need to make 730 shards to get legendary 5 and then a rebirth. So no, thank you. I just don't have the stomach for it anymore. I just don't. Really. Seriously, guys. I just don't have the stomach anymore for this fucking game. So I'll see you around. I'm gonna keep uploading videos, just not of this, unless they introduce something really worth my while. I'm just gonna do the campaign and call it a day. So see you next time and keep grinding on. There's nothing else to do.